Hey, what's happening, Will?
What is happening? I'm good. How are you?
I think I finally recovered from last night.
That was
Dude,
something
that was
else.
intense.
That was it got to a point where it was a little bit more than I could take. But but it wasn't you. It
Yeah,
wasn't you.
that was an intense panel. It really
You
was. It was an intense night. I didn't expect everything to happen like it did. And before I looked at the clock. I'm like, holy shit, it's 2:30 in the freaking morning.
Well, I mean, you know that Oni is not going to pass up the opportunity to be heard, and not because he wanted a fair shake. He wanted a chance to save face and have an audience, and that's how I
He
took it anyway.
tried. I have to give him an
That's how I took
A
it.
for effort. Because he really tried to his best of his abilities to convince everyone, you know. But with
I mean, dude, you fucking did it. Like, come on, look. I've been saying it on my lives because I've been kind of talking about it a little bit on my lives, and the reason, and I'm gonna say this, the reason why I take such an interest in this particular situation is because this is a true crime community, and make no fucking mistake, a crime was being committed. That was a crime, and a crime was committed against you, and it's happening within our community. And how ironic that it happens within the true crime community. So I
yeah,
want to
very
see
ironic.
that.
I feel like I've been living in a Lifetime movie.
Right, but
I
at the
swear
same,
to God.
yeah, because of course, there's the drama involved because there's the drama part of the true crime community and all that, and that was happening. But my interest was clear, was simply just, dude, how fucking, because here's my thing, Jay, is Oni, what he did here was this outrageous, like, it was an outrageous mixture, like a punch bowl of gaslighting and projection and lying, and on top of that, the illegal act of calling the police and involving them in whatever bullshit was going on in his head. And so,
There was a lot going on.
right. So, I took that like, this is a person that he needs help. I mean, but
Yeah.
he's not gonna go out and get it on his own. But my take on that was, it needs to be corrected. This is not the kind of thing that we want. As a creator in this community, I don't want to have to worry about
No, that's
somebody
not a
doing that
fear that you
shit.
should have when
Right.
you're online. It really
And
isn't.
and I've talked about it on my life, but I have yet to be able to tell you directly. I think the way you handled that situation was not only with poise and with scruples and with class, but you handled it like a true crime creator would. You followed it like a case. You went out and you collected evidence and you presented evidence and proved that this person was responsible for this behavior. And I'm grateful as a member of this community. I am grateful to you for that and for the way that you
Thank
handled
you.
it. You set an incredible example,
Thank
and
you.
I'm
I
and I'm
appreciate
proud.
that.
I'm very proud to be associated with you, and I'm very proud of the fact that you and I are doing this right now. And
Uh-oh. He lost his audio. I appreciate everything that Will just said. I want to welcome everyone into chat. You're here, you're back.
am I back? Okay.
Yeah, keep talking about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Thank you for everything you said. Really, it means a lot. And I wouldn't have handled it any other way, honestly. I don't get into the yelling and screaming matches. I think everybody who's followed me knows that. And I just
And
wouldn't have handled it any other way.
I noticed that too, because even when you were on that panel in Diane's channel, again, you were stating facts the entire time. You were sticking to the grit of what everyone was there for, which was,
Yeah, I
I
was being
fucking found.
diverted a lot, or there was attempts on diversions a lot.
I saw that.
So I was trying to keep bringing it back to, these are the facts, this is what we know. This is what I have proof on. Everything else, I don't care,
That's how I feel about it. I don't give a shit about, I don't know the dude. I don't know the dude. I don't give a shit about, and I don't say that to be crude. But I don't care about the dynamic of your friendship. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the fact that this guy committed a crime within our community and there was proof. And I don't need any more proof than that because, dude, listen, dude, I keep saying it. If you've got two fucking ears and a brain in between them, you know that that's Oni on that recording. Period. There's
Absolutely.
there's no other. I mean, all I have to do is listen to the live that he put up with the cops knocking on his door and compare that to, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to him last night on Diane's channel and I'm like, dude, listening to you right now, I'm even more sure than ever that that's you on that fucking recording because I'm listening to you talk right now.
Yes.
You just don't have the fucking shitty bullshit Southern accent.
Which offended a lot of people. I thought that was really funny. People were like, I am really offended by this accent right now.
I mean, I live in the South and I'm not Southern, but I'm offended by it. I'm offended by his poor taste.
Oh my God. So, all right, without bringing too much of that into this live, because this is really important. This is something you've been talking about now for a few weeks. And, I'm glad that we could collab here on my channel and bring awareness to the situation for this girl and this family.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I found a pretty good news clip that kind of breaks down this case, like what happened. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play that, and then we can get into, your updates and what we want to accomplish here.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. This is your show. I'm just following your lead.
All right, let's see. I got to share. I got to make sure I do this right. Me and my snafus. They happen a lot, Will. They really more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to me too, man.
You know what? That's what's so great about being live. You never know what the hell's gonna happen. Kind of like my music last night. That was awesome. I don't think we can bypass that one. If you go over and listen to Will's live from last night and listen to his intro, I was laughing just a little bit ago. I'm like, that's got to be my new intro. And then I go over and watch his video, and he's got a nice intro.
Yeah. I'm still laughing.
And the title's Faith, and then you hear this, don't stop, get it.
Hey man, I grew up in Miami, man. You brought me back.
Oh yeah.
I've actually delivered pizza to Luther Campbell's house on a number of occasions. Yeah, he's not a very
old Broward County, huh?
Well, he was in Miami Lakes. He had a house in Miami Lakes, which was my delivery area. Which is
that's funny. I used to live in Daytona Beach, and I delivered pizzas. I was about 18 years old.
Okay. Yeah. I was about 21.
Back then, I could pay my rent on delivering pizzas. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We didn't need much, We didn't need much.
If you're a hustler, man, you were making money delivering pizzas. No shit.
All right. So can you guys see my screen? Looks like you can. See it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play.
And charges are expected to be filed soon in a young mother's tragic death. Mandy Gorsuch was walking in downtown Guthrie Saturday night when a truck plowed into her and then sped off. She was 34 years old. News 4's Kate Smith talked to her family today. And Kate, not only are they grieving, they're also frustrated.
Yeah, as you can imagine, Mandy Gorsuch's family is heartbroken about what happened Saturday night. But police aren't giving them much information other than she was hit by a pickup truck and the person responsible is still out there.
Well, she was a very giving, loving person. She was everything that me and my middle sister were not.
A young mother and wife, Mandy Gorsuch's brother, says she had a way of making connections with people, letting everyone she encountered know they mattered.
She was special. Everything she did, there wasn't a stranger to her in this world, the whole world.
But over the weekend, the light and laughter of the family was tragically taken. The 34-year-old was hit and killed a block away from the Guthrie Police Department. The man witnesses say is responsible sped off in his pickup truck before emergency crews arrived.
There's no closure. There's no closure when something like this happens. None.
Mandy died on the way to the hospital. Her brother says she was out with friends Saturday night, but that's all he knows, telling us the police are being tight-lipped about the investigation.
That makes everything harder to deal with because we have so many questions and we're just trying to take it minute by minute, second by second.
But what this grieving family does know, they want the person responsible for what happened to their beloved sister.
I just want justice. Just like anybody else would. I just want justice.
Guthrie police say they have identified the pickup and the person responsible. They expect to have criminal charges filed in Logan County later this week. The suspect's name is not being released until those charges are formally filed.
Okay, so that obviously was before they named the suspect, which we know now who he is. Who is the suspect here?
His name is Zachary Simmons, aka Shitbag.
Ooh, yeah. So he's a firefighter. Is that?
He's from what
volunteer?
From what I understand, he was a former volunteer firefighter.
Oh,
And
okay.
he according to police, stole a badge and flashed it in order to get away from the scene.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. Okay, so I have a little article, if you don't mind me reading it, about him after he was charged, this Zachary Simmons. So, yeah, it says a former volunteer Logan County firefighter is accused of hitting and killing a woman, then leaving the scene. Zachary Simmons, 28, was arrested the afternoon of Friday, November 1st, and he posted bail shortly after. Guthrie police were called to Rooster's Hard Times Club, located at 322 West Oklahoma Avenue, Saturday, October 26th at 11:34 p.m. When officers arrived, they found Mandy Gorsuch?
Gorsuch, yes, I believe that's how it is. Yes.
Mandy Gorsuch, 33, had been run over by a truck. Gorsuch died en route to the hospital. Investigators said Gorsuch, her wife, and friends got into an altercation with the suspect and his girlfriend outside the bar in the parking lot. Simon's girlfriend began yelling obscenities out the passenger window of the truck to Gorsuch and her friends. Then Gorsuch and another friend approached the vehicle. Witnesses said that's when Simmons allegedly pulled out a badge and urged the two to stay back. Simmons told investigators he did not flash the badge. Instead, it was visible to who was approaching his vehicle. Witnesses told police Simmons stopped outside the Guthrie Police Department following the incident, looked down the road at the scene of the crime, and then drove away. It took police nearly 24 hours to get in touch with Simmons. According to court documents, Simmons told investigators why he sped off, saying he got scared and didn't want damage done to his truck. Investigators later learned the badge flashed was embezzled from the Sooner Fire Department. Simmons quit the job after being demoted for his dangerous driving of fire department vehicles. He was reprimanded several times. Sooner Fire Department Chief Jeff Ware told investigators Simmons should not have the badge. Ware said it should have been turned in before he quit. In 2015, Simmons was found guilty of leaving the scene of another crash in Guthrie city limits. On the same day Simmons was arrested, funeral services were held for Gorsuch.
Yeah, so this fucker's done this shit before.
This is insane.
Yeah.
So here's a quote from her mother from Mandy Gorsuch's mother, Sherry Spencer. She says, when I read that there wasn't anything like manslaughter, talking about his charges, or anything like that, I just thought that seems a little light for anyone else that would be driving drunk and end up killing somebody.
Yeah. So this guy was charged,
he disappears. He's sobered up.
Yeah. So by the time they arrested him, they had nothing on him. But this guy, apparently what he was charged with was, I think it was leaving the scene of an accident involving a fatality. Not even that he was responsible. Like, there's nothing in the charge that holds him accountable for the fatality, which I find disgusting. You know, it's suspicious as well. Now I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the police. I don't know if they're just dropping the ball. And I don't know, but it sounds a lot like the same old good old boy bullshit we hear about happening in towns like this, considering that Mandy was an active member in the LGBTQ community and very proud of her lifestyle, and very open about it. And so we don't know if this was a hate crime. So there's all kinds of variables here that make this situation very questionable.
Right. I mean, do you know anything? I know you've spoken to her brother. His name's Josh, right?
I did speak to him. Well, I texted with him briefly. Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know, like, if you knew when they said, you know, that this couple was screaming obscenities, was it something about them being gay? Was it?
He did not give me any details regarding the case. He didn't give me now. Well, I don't even know, but he did not at the time. And he was supposed to come on here, or at least he wanted to, but for legal reasons he declined. Which I get it. I have nothing but respect for that decision, obviously. But he supports us coming on here and doing this, and he really wants justice for his sister, obviously. But he did not go into any details with me as far as the details of the crime itself.
Okay.
Now, how I came across this case is I also have a Facebook group by the same name, and it just so happens that Taylor Watson, a friend of Mandy's, is a member of my group, and she posted the petition in my group, and I reached out to her and asked her if it was okay if I kind of ran with it on my channel, and so on and so forth. Here we are. If I can, I want to go ahead and read an email.
Oh, sure.
Which is from Tara Hodges, and I believe she's actually in the chat right now. So welcome, Tara. And Angie,
you're Mandy's sister. And Will, we lost your audio again.
No, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, cool. Welcome, Angie.
Angie's her sister, and she said they were homophobic slurs. Thank you for confirming that. And Angie, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, and he's not looking at the chat as well. And yes, he's free right now. I don't even think he was out on bail. I think they just let him out. Somehow.
He's out right now.
Wow. According to Tay, he's out somehow. Like, they just let him out. I don't know how the fuck that works. It's infuriating though. But anyway,
Angie, hold on one second, Will.
Sure.
You're very welcome. She said, thank you both for covering her story. And Angie, if you decide that you would like to call in, I can give a link in chat. So just let me know if you'd like to, call in. And I mean, maybe if you just want to just share with everybody, who your sister was, if you are ready to do that. If not, I totally understand. But if you want to, the invitation is there. So go ahead, Will, with your email.
Okay, so Tara confirms that it was bail, that he did get out on bail. So this and actually, I should also say that this email was actually addressed to you directly, Jay. I guess because she knew that we were going to do this on your channel.
Oh, okay.
But Tay writes, this was written by my good friend Tara Hodges, who was so much closer to Mandy than anyone else. Let me know if you need anything else. Thank you again. And Tara writes, Mandy was the life of the party. There was never a dull moment when she was around. She wasn't afraid to talk to anyone, and she made friends wherever she went, and she had so many friends. She smiled with her whole face, and when she laughed, you could tell she meant it. She loved animals, especially dogs, and if she could have rescued every stray dog she saw, she would have. She put her all into anything she did. Mandy was what you would describe as a country girl. She drove a truck, loved to be outside, and almost never left the house without her boots on. She loved her family and looked forward to her mom's ham gravy on the holidays. It was her favorite, and her mom always made an extra batch just for her. She was an avid OU fan, and 9 times out of 10, her radio was on in her truck. She was listening to country music. Garth Brooks was her favorite artist. She loved music. It was almost a specific language for her. She loved soccer and played throughout her adolescent years and was very athletic. She was the daredevil. If you dared her, she accepted the challenge. She was so adventurous and lived by the seat of her pants. If she wanted to go somewhere, she went without a second thought. If she wanted to do something, she did, whether it be dancing cheek to cheek under the city lights at night or going backroading and getting her truck stuck in the mud. She was optimistic and hardly ever hesitated to do anything. She lived her life to the fullest in every single day, and she loved life more than anyone I've ever known. Her attitude and actions prove that over and over again. Mandy would do anything for anyone. She'd give you the shirt off her back or her last dollar and never expect anything in return. Her heart was pure gold. Mandy worked hard, playing hard, but most importantly, she loved hard. She loved with every inch of her. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a best friend to a few. She was my best friend for 17 years. I miss her so much. We all miss her so much. She deserves justice, and we won't stop until she gets it. Thank you for doing this for her, for us. We appreciate you, Jay. Sincerely from my heart, Tara Hodges.
Wow.
That was a beautiful email.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tara, for wow.
And it's amazing when I look at Mandy's picture, I see everything that she's
Me too.
describing in that
Me too.
email.
Me too.
I see everything in there. Just in her smile, just in the way she's shining.
Yeah. So there's this petition. Tell everybody about the petition again.
Well, the petition is how I was first made aware of this case, and the purpose of the petition, and I believe it's on change.org. The purpose of the petition.
Uh-oh, we lost your audio again. Will, I think his audio is going in and out. He's having headphone problems. But the purpose of the petition is to raise awareness for the lack of charges that this man is facing. This man is only facing leaving the scene of an accident, you guys. Leaving the scene of an accident. He killed a person. He flashed a badge that was stolen. He is getting a slap on the wrist for taking a life. It's despicable. It's absolutely despicable. Looks like Will is going to have to call back in. But yeah, it's an injustice, and it hits close to home for me to be able to cover this story, for the reason being it's very similar. Welcome back, Will.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's
I
very
don't know
similar
what's
to
going
something
on.
that my son went through. No, you're okay. I was just rambling while you were gone. But yeah, it hits close to home to me. So I'm really like honored to be able to cover this story, and I hope that we can make a difference, because I have to say that I've witnessed what her family's going through in my own life. So
Yeah, you were starting to tell me about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, for everybody listening, when I approached Jay with this case, she was on fire right away about it, simply because she told me that it hit very close to home for her. And I'm sure we're going to hear about that as well.
And I want to say, I want to talk about that a little bit here, but I want to say about this guy, you have people that are coming into chat defending him right now, saying he didn't do anything wrong, blah, 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 blah. Well, the thing is, okay, even if it was an accident, even if he didn't mean to hit her, he still drove away. He hit a person and he looked down the road. He looked at the scene and he left.
Yeah, let's just cut the bullshit here. Okay. Right now, whoever is defending this person and saying that it was an accident and that's their excuse that they're making for this person and his actions, understand that you're in a community right now where we follow crime cases. Every single person here does. We all follow crime cases, and we do it for simple extra interest. And the reason why and part of the process of doing that is looking at the facts and trying to understand to a certain degree how the law works. And the fact of the matter is whether it was an accident or not, he broke the law because he did not answer for his actions when he should have in the first place. Everyone knows this person was drinking. He should have been charged. He should have been pulled over in the first place and stopped and arrested for drunk driving in the first place.
And if you want to further cut the bullshit, the bottom line is this guy wasn't thinking about anybody but himself.
Clearly.
He was trying to cover his own ass.
His
they
actions
couldn't get a hold of him for 24 hours.
Yeah, his actions clearly dictate this.
Yep. Homeboy sobered up.
I don't give a shit about this guy's intentions for 1 second at this point. What I care about is the fact that he broke the law and he took someone away from people who loved her. And he doesn't seem to care.
He killed a girl.
Right.
He killed a girl. He killed a mother. He killed a daughter. He killed an aunt. He killed a sister. Yeah. This guy killed her. I mean,
Sleuths investigate. Yeah, exactly. Why didn't he call 911? You're telling me this guy didn't have a cell phone on him? This guy got out of his truck. Witnesses saw this guy get out of his truck, look at her, and look at his truck, get back in it, and drive away. You're going to tell me this guy couldn't have called 911 to try to get her help?
At the very least,
that's a murderer. I don't give a shit whether it's intentional, whether it's whatever, manslaughter, murder. We'll let the courts decide that. But the bottom line is he killed somebody. He killed an innocent human being who was cared for and loved, and she cared for everyone that knew her, and she loved everyone that she knew and was in her life, and she lived her life of somebody that of someone who counted her blessings on a constant basis.
I want to address this. You're wrong. You're wrong says quit making her out to be some innocent little child. Okay, first of all, you're wrong. You must be a family member or somebody related to this douchebag. Okay, first of all, it doesn't matter if she was a convicted felon. It doesn't matter what she was.
I want to know.
You don't have the right to plow a human being down, kill them, and get a slap on the wrist. You just can't go around killing people. You just can't.
No. And I don't give a shit if you don't agree with her lifestyle, or if she had a bad attitude, or if she I don't care about any of that shit. The bottom line is,
right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if she was the aggressor walking up to the truck. If someone's calling you names and you're at a bar and you've had a few drinks, of course you might walk up to their truck and say, "What the fuck you saying?" You know, that's not a reason to plow someone over.
Short of her pulling a gun and pointing it at him, and his only defense is to drive his truck away as fast as he can, you're not going to tell me anything that's going to justify this guy's actions. Nothing.
And guess what? Guess what? We are just, even if she had a baseball bat and was hitting the roof of his car, he doesn't have the right to plow her down. He doesn't.
What?
You will never convince me that plowing a human being down, killing them, and driving off is okay in any way, shape, or form. He has no respect for human life. So, the guy is obviously all about himself.
So if she was coming at, so we're just, your rationale is that she was going to damage the truck. You're telling me that it is justified to run someone over if they're coming at you, or if they're coming at your truck with a lead pipe ready to put a dent in it? No, that still doesn't justify running them over with a truck. Sorry. There's nothing you're going to fucking say here that's going to convince anybody, because all you're doing is making it look worse. So
okay,
please continue with your please continue.
Okay, so they said he did not intend to plow her over. His intent was to leave the argument.
So why didn't he call 911 and say, "Hey, I accidentally ran someone over"?
Yeah, this girl was coming at me, man. I didn't mean to hit her, but I did, and we need some help. Right. That's what a good human being would do. But you know what? He was drunk, and he didn't want to go to jail, and he didn't want all the fines, and this was his second accident of hitting someone.
Bingo.
He knew he was going to go to jail.
Yeah, and I use the word accident loosely.
And you know what the bottom line is? He needs to go to jail for this.
Exactly.
He needs to go. I'm sorry. Even if it's an accident, you leave the scene and you kill someone. Once someone's dead, that should be a game changer. He didn't just run over her freaking foot. I mean, that's how this person is acting. She should have backed up. Dude, she's dead. She doesn't have broken toes. She's freaking gone. How can you justify that? I don't understand people. I don't. And I think I lost Will again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
I wonder, I wonder if your brother, sister, mother, husband, wife, anybody close to you, if the situation was reversed and you lost them in the same manner, would you be sitting here saying, "Oh, well, my brother or sister should have never gotten close to the truck"? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I call bullshit on that. I don't even know you. I call bullshit on that. There's no way you'd be sitting here saying that. There's no way.
No, absolutely not. Tiffany says, we have a friend that accidentally killed his friend with a motorcycle and he's still behind bars.
With a motorcycle. Guy probably almost killed himself.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy because the same thing happened, with my son and his girlfriend at the time. There was no justice in that case. And it's infuriating. I saw how my son's girlfriend, how her family just struggled with that no justice. It's bad enough that someone plowed over your family member and just left them there. To think as a mother, to imagine that being your child, it My
can't
heart
imagine.
can't even go there.
I can't imagine.
My heart can't even go there. But as if that wasn't bad enough, you put it into the authorities' hands and they still don't bring justice to your child. I can't imagine what that feels like. Like I said, my insides won't let me go there because that pain would be way too much.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. It's like, you know, when I covered this on my channel, I read an email from, and it was so crazy because it just happened that it just so happened I got that email when I decided to cover this case. I didn't tell anybody I was going to do it, and it just so happened that I got an email from an avid listener who was struggling really bad because he lost his fiance and soon to be stepdaughter to a drunk driver just before the holidays, and they never caught the guy, and he's struggling to this day. I got an email from the guy the other night talking about how he was so depressed and he was going to drink Jack Daniels, and I haven't heard from him. I'm worried about him, as a matter of fact. I haven't heard from him since then. And this is the kind of thing that this is just a small iota of how this affects people, and to not have any empathy for that, it blows my mind. How you can defend this person's actions, whether there's somebody close to you or not. I mean, if my own son did something like this, I would still be his dad. I would absolutely still be his dad, but I would absolutely be adamant in doing my job as a father and saying, "Hey, you need to answer for your actions, son. It's time to man up. It's time to man up."
Absolutely. This guy is just worried about himself. And I had to time out the doom and gloom person because you say it once, that's fine, but you keep saying the same things over and over, and her grieving family is here. I'm not allowing it. So
nah, I agree with you.
excuse me, you have 5 minutes to think about how you're going to act in here, and if you're going to continue acting like you have, you're going to be hidden.
And you're lucky to even get that.
Yeah, I'm usually not that fair.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean, because I get it. I mean, I want people to be able to, express themselves here. And, not everybody's opinion is going to match. But when it comes to a family who just lost,
you need to at least have respect for them. Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, this just shows the kind of people that he, birds of a feather flock together. That's all I can say. Yeah. So what you're seeing right now, you guys in chat of his friends, you can pretty much duplicate. That's how he is.
Yeah,
and it's not impressive.
At least
it's not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I am on fire about this particular situation because I'm seeing a lot of different possible variables here as to why justice is not being served, and I'm not ready to start going into that just yet. I'm not ready to start making assumptions. I'm not ready to start drawing conclusions just yet. But I want to see, right now I'm at the phase where it's like, okay, if we can get as much information out there and make as many people aware of this as we can, we'll see how it plays out on law enforcement's end, on the district attorney's end in that town. So right now, I'm going to play it out, and I'm going to give everyone involved the benefit of the doubt. Everyone. So right now, all I'm looking for personally, all I'm looking to get out of this is that he gets a sensible charge, that he is arrested under a sensible, logical charge. Because right now, what's happening is not logical, and it's not fair. It's not fair to the families. Her family deserves justice. Her friends deserve justice. They deserve for this man to answer for his crime. So at least answer for it. That's all I'm looking for at the moment. Now, when the time comes, I'm going to want what's due. So if jail time is due, then absolutely, I want that. But I want him to at least answer for his crime. He owes Mandy's family and friends that much.
Yeah. He's 28 years old, Prepper. So he's only 28. Man, he looked older than that in his mugshot. I didn't realize he was younger.
Yeah.
So do we know when does he go to court? Do we know this?
I think it's December 2nd or 4th.
Oh, that's next week.
I'm not 100% sure. If December 19th, Tiffany says.
Okay, December 19th.
I'm really glad that there are family and friends in this chat right now where
No, it's best to get it right from them anyways, you know?
Absolutely, right.
I'm about to share that link to the petition we were talking about.
Yeah. Because the thing is I was trying to share it in my chat. My mods had figured out a way to shorten the length so it would fit in the chat here. I tried to do it. I don't know how, because I'm stupid when it comes to technical stuff. But if you try to drop it in full, it's too long for the chat. But there's a way to shorten it where it works. And apparently, according to Tay, my live when I covered this generated over 500 signatures.
Wow, that's awesome.
So the main reason why I wanted it covered on this channel is because I think through this channel we can generate a lot more.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, look at you guys, the mods, you guys have the link to the petition. If you could put that in chat for me, that'd be great.
The one, let's see, I think Danielle actually went out to try to go find it.
I gave it to my mods earlier, so they should. Oh, he doesn't know how to do a mini link.
Yeah, no, I don't.
That's the problem. I don't either.
I don't even know what a mini link is.
Me either. Don't feel bad.
But my one mod, she is going out tonight, and rightfully so, because it's Saturday night. She's the one who shortened it. Right. Yeah, Danielle, thank you. That's the issue that we're dealing with. I know that, Shannon found a way to shorten it, and then she passed it along to the other mods, and everybody was just dropping it like crazy during my chat. And I was really hoping somebody else knew how to do that here. And that doesn't look like it's happening. Everyone's saying it's too long.
It's too long to post. All right, hang on. Let me try this again. Yeah, I can put it in the description box of the video. I'll have to do that after we're done, though.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Chris T just, all right. Chris T,
you rock.
Chris T, if you can figure out a way to send that link to some of the other mods and have them drop it too, I want that thing firing this chat up. I want that.
Thank you, Chris T.
I want this chat engulfed in that petition, please. Yeah,
Let's get them to their goal.
Chris T, you're amazing. I really, really appreciate it, buddy.
It's a girl.
Well, buddy,
It's
anyway.
it's Christy.
I see.
But I couldn't let that go. I gotta call you out, Will.
I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I definitely don't make any secret about that.
If
but
everybody
Christy-
can just take a second right now and do it, we're just gonna just shoot the breeze while you guys go do that and come right back. So
yeah,
do it now
So-
before you forget, because then you'll be like, oh, I don't have the link, and then I got to go back to Jay's video, and oh my God, I don't have time. And then you're going to get distracted by email and Facebook and Twitter and everything else. And
I want
do it now.
I want everyone right now who is even involved in the chat, who is active in the chat, from everybody who's active in the chat to the other end of the spectrum, to people who are just lurking because they hate Jay. Fucking click on that petition. It has nothing to do with anything but justice for Mandy.
People hate me?
Please.
Did I hear that right?
That's the rumor. I don't
rumor
listen
is,
to rumors.
yeah,
but,
I hear you. No,
So-
yeah, even the lurkers, man. Just click on that link and sign it real quick. It takes 2 seconds, and
Yeah. Bottom
Thank
line
you.
is, yes. So
thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
Well, if you can't sign it again, if you've already signed it, please share it. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your social media.
Yeah,
Get your family and friends to, get awareness out there. That's the biggest thing.
The internet is an amazing thing, and social media on the internet is even more amazing. So please,
I mean, like,
exploit what it's good for. And
I'll tell you what, if I lived in that area, I wouldn't want that dude behind the wheel in my town.
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I wouldn't feel comfortable with knowing he's on the road.
I sure as shit wouldn't. No way.
Mhm.
There's no way I would.
Which brings me to, I wanted to share a little personal. I don't usually share personal stuff. I'm a Scorpio, so we don't normally share our feelings and our personal lives easily. But this really brought out, like, it brings out this rage feeling. And I wish I didn't feel that rage. But when there's no justice, that's how you feel. And the reason why this really enrages me is because my 21-year-old son, whose name is Ryan, when he was 16 years old, it was like he had his first girlfriend. You remember being 16 and that young innocent love, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's the best. It's the best, right? And it was she was this beautiful 16-year-old girl who worked. She was in all accelerated classes. I mean, this girl was just brilliant. And my son was going through a rough time from 15 to 16. He,
as we all do, yeah.
Oh yeah, like
15 to 16
smoking
was rough for
pot and just the typical teenage stuff.
Right.
But and not doing well in school and just bad attitude overall. He met this girl and he started getting A's and B's, and he just had a totally different outlook on life. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I saw what this girl did for him. Even at 16 years old, she made such an impact on him. It was just, I was so excited for him, and he was so happy. And it was around like the time when like homecoming, I think, was coming up, and he was excited to ask her to homecoming. You know how they go all out nowadays with the prom and homecoming invitations, right? And this girl was just like my son. It was like she was a female version of him. She loved music. He got her favorite album. They were into vinyl, and he got her a big, huge stuffed animal, fox. He bought her favorite candy, Sour Patch Kids. And he made this cool sign. Will you go to homecoming with me or whatever? And she rode the bus home with him that day. And this was September 28th, 2014. She rode the bus home with him that day and went in his room, and there all this stuff was on the bed. And he snapped a picture of her when she walked in the room. And that ended up being the last picture that was ever taken of her.
Jeez.
and she was happy and she was smiling, and her mom loves that picture because she knows that she was happy. And they hung out and they had fun, like teenagers do, and they walked over to a friend's house a couple blocks away, and they hung out, and it was like, it was fall, so it was dusk around 7:00, and they started heading home. This was in a residential neighborhood. They didn't have sidewalks in our neighborhood in Florida for whatever reason. I don't know why there's no sidewalks, but there isn't. It's probably a cost thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I'm actually to this day. Well, not to this day. I'm a pedestrian. I don't even own a car right now, and I haven't for a few years. I just don't feel the need for it after having been a pedestrian for a while. And let me tell you, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I mean, I could follow the rules of the road. As far as a pedestrian goes, and they say the pedestrian has the right of way always, but reality, dictates that
in Florida they don't believe that, obviously.
Well, right. I grew up in South Florida. I know.
Yeah, it's insane. Do you know how many kids get hit in the state of Florida? I couldn't believe it when I started looking into it.
Right. I mean, and the thing is they just there's some streets that just don't have sidewalks, and it's like that here in Tennessee. It's like that in a lot of places, and I don't know why. I mean, but the thing is you can use as much common sense as one could have as a pedestrian, but the bottom line is a car, if it comes at you and hits you, it can kill you, and so you can only do so much. But you have to depend on the drivers to pay attention to where they're going. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, it's okay. It's all right. But those residential areas, they don't have these sidewalks, and the speed limit's 25. And these kids were walking home. It was my son, Ryan, and his friend, and then his girlfriend, Caitlin, and they were walking. If anybody's ever seen a residential neighborhood down here in Florida, there's not a lot of grass like there is up north. Like, it's crabgrass type grass, and it's a lot of sand.
Yeah.
Especially on like the shoulder of the road. It's more sand than it is grass.
Yeah.
And, so anyways, they're walking, and Caitlin is on the far left. Okay. She's barely on the concrete because she just got a new pair of Vans and she didn't want to get them dirty in the sand. So she was just barely on the edge of the pavement. She was holding hands with my son, Ryan. So he was just on the edge, right on the sand. And then his friend was kind of walking, a little bit over more in the grassy area, being the third wheel, right? They're holding hands. He's walking. They're just walking back to my son's dad's house. So as they're walking down this road, my son's stepmom texts and says, I ordered pizza. And my son said, oh, my stepmom got pizza. And Caitlin said, yay. And then all of a sudden, boom, from behind, a car came up out of basically nowhere.
Oh my God.
And hit her from behind. It got so close. My son, its elbow hit the side view mirror as she flew up on the windshield and flew 50 feet in the air and landed on the ground. And he kept going. He kept going. The man got down to a stop sign down the street, and there happened to be a trooper parked on the shoulder of the road. So he did a U-turn and he came back. That distance wasn't enough for leaving the scene of an accident. It was just shy. It was just shy a few feet of leaving the scene of an accident. But he did the U-turn just in the nick of time because he saw that trooper. And he got back to the scene. And in the meantime, my son and his friend ran over to her. And by this time, it was dark. So they had to turn on their cell phone lights. And in the meantime, this guy's coming back. He's pulling up and they're screaming, we need help, we need help, we need help. He gets out of his car and he starts cussing. What the fuck were you guys doing in the road? Swearing at these boys. Meanwhile, they're on the phone with 911 and the 911 operator. And I heard this call once, and that's the only time that I will ever listen to that call.
That's all you need. Yeah.
I can't hear my son scream the way he screamed.
Right.
So the 911 and her mother sent me the audio, and her mother and me got really super close, and I talked to her almost every day, and I felt like that's the least I can do. Like, that could have been my son. I have my son. The least I can do is listen to this woman weep and talk about her daughter. And you know what I'm saying? It was just a weird feeling, because I was so grateful I had my kid.
Right.
But then I had this woman who was just on her knees, just weeping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was the hardest thing that I ever dealt with. The hardest thing. So at any rate, this guy's cussing at them, and they're on the phone with 911, and the 911 operator asks my son, is she breathing? And he says, I don't know. Her hair's all over her face. I don't know. She says, well, you move her hair, see if she's breathing. And I just found this out. I shit you not, Will. I just found this out 2 months ago. My son never told me what he saw when he moved her hair until 2 months ago. Now that tells me, he's definitely making progress, that he's able to talk about that. It's kind of coming out, the things start to fade, and your body, that shock starts to slowly wear off and let you remember things. When he moved her hair, he saw her brain.
Jesus Christ.
And this guy was on the side of the road cussing at him. And everybody in my family wants to know, why does he have PTSD? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, this kid at 16 years old saw more than some people ever see in a lifetime at 16.
That's more than soldiers. Some soldiers who go off to war see.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this was his pretty girlfriend. So ambulance comes, and that was when he screamed, and I heard that scream on that audio, and I could never listen to that again. I would throw up. So ambulance comes, they take her to the hospital, they get her to the hospital, and no one knows what's going to happen. They call her mom comes, they've got her head wrapped, and they're trying to get her to Children's Hospital in St. Pete. But there's a huge storm, and the winds were just it was too windy for them to airlift her at that time. But we found out later, it wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't, it wouldn't have made a difference. But they got her over to all Children's, and I'm sorry. Did you?
I was just thinking how I mean, just even though it later on you realize that it doesn't matter, she wouldn't have made it. But just the time, the added frustration of not knowing that at the time, and seeing these,
is this going to make a difference
happen, right?
Oh, it was,
the wind. Are you fucking kidding me? The wind is going to be the cause of my girlfriend being dead. I can't even imagine going through that. I can't imagine it.
Yeah. So and I was on the phone with him. He called me from the scene. I was actually on my a little mini honeymoon after I got married. It was 2 days after I got married, and God. It was crazy. I swear to God, my life is the things happen. It's just boom, 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 all right on top of each other. I'm sure it's everybody's life, But anyways, at any rate, I was in Michigan and he was in Florida. He had moved down to Florida to live with his dad, and I got on a plane that day, and I got down there. Well, anyways, they got her to All Children's. At the time, she was still in All Children's. She was on, she was on life support. They said there was nothing they could do, but it was still on social media. Some people were posting one thing. Oh, she might make it. They're not sure. And then the other, and then Ryan was getting information that no, she's not. He didn't know. So I got there, and it was still up in the air. And I just couldn't wait to get to my kid, get to my kid.
Of course.
And right when I got there was when it was literally right after I like hugged him that his friend was like, she's dead, like it was at that moment. And the reason that they had her on the life support was because she was an organ donor. And that girl saved a lot of lives.
Wow.
A 9-year-old girl got her heart.
Wow.
And I've talked to her mom since this happened in 2014. And we just talked a few weeks ago. And she said, Jen, because I told her I'm moving back to Florida, like I'll be able to see you again and stuff. And she's a couple hours from me, but.
And there's just a part of you just has to believe when you hear things like that, you just have to believe that she's still with us in some way.
Yeah. And her mom has given me so many stories. She definitely is. And, like her mom wants to.
I love that you guys are still in touch too. I think that's incredible.
Yeah. And I never met her. I never met her prior to that. Cause like I said, I was in Michigan. She's down here in Florida. So I had never met her until after all this happened. And that woman is the kindest woman that I've ever met, because she never one time, even in all of her grief and her agony, she never one time asked my son, why wasn't she on the other side of you? Why weren't you in the road? Never once did she question him or his actions.
Yeah.
Never
I mean,
once.
I see I talk about things like this on my channel a lot. And the GLARE being that acronym, and one of the A's in the GLARE is acceptance. And I believe this is that being an example of what you're talking about is an example of how a good-hearted person practices acceptance. Just it happened and it's awful, and I want to deal with it as best as I can, because it's not going to do any good to blame anyone, to blame someone who's hurting just as bad, for something like that. It's not going to do any good. It's not rational to do that. So acceptance is one of the hardest things, but it's so important. It's so important to keeping your soul vibrant and capable of giving out good things. I find it very, very crucial to leading a positive existence. So when hearing you say that brings comfort to me. Absolutely.
Yeah. I felt like that's the least that I could do for her. But as far as the organ donor thing, I wanted to go back and tell a story that her mom told me. Caitlin got her driver's license just like a couple weeks before
oh my God.
she was killed. And she got her driver's license, and she showed her mom her driver's license, and she was like, oh, here's my license, Mom. And she looked at it and she's like, Caitlin, you want to be an organ donor? And she was like without hesitation, she just said, well, yeah, if I'm not here, why shouldn't I save other people? And this was literally 2 weeks before this accident.
I'm an organ donor. I mean,
me too.
Me
too.
Me personally, I mean, I respect everyone's religious beliefs. I do, but at the same time, there's some things that are just like really old traditions that the idea that you could actually use these traditions were created during a time when the idea that you could actually transfer the organs of somebody who is dying to somebody who needs it and could save their life, that technology wasn't even, so to me it's senseless to not be an organ donor. To me it doesn't make any sense to not be an organ donor. And when you hear about somebody who's a young teenager having that kind of mentality and that kind of understanding of what they can give and what they can provide even beyond the grave at that young age, that's inspiring. That's incredibly inspiring.
She left her mark for sure. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I got down here. Well, before I even left Michigan, a friend of mine was at the time the vice principal of the high school. So I got in touch with her and I said, what can we do? My son wants to do something. You know, I mean, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He wants to do some kind of memorial. She's like, and I got this. I get down there, my friend, because I used to live there before I got divorced. So I knew all the people there in Florida. I just had moved back to Michigan. So I didn't know everybody. So anyways, she had this whole thing set up at this church. This non-denominational churches where like everybody goes in this town. Like, so they had this thing set up and they're really big into the youth. So the kids had helped set it up and she got it orchestrated, this memorial service. And it was the night I got there. So it was the day after the accident. So my son sat down and he wrote something out and he got up on this stage. I mean, there was literally hundreds of kids. I would say at least 400 or 500 kids at this thing.
Right.
And my son got in front of all of them and talked about Caitlin. And then he didn't even look at the paper. He had all this shit written down. And once he started talking, he didn't even look at the paper.
Yeah. That's powerful.
You know, and then so I'm at the church and I'm up on this balcony thing. They took the families up there and I was up there with her mom and I hadn't met her mom yet. It's the first time I'd ever seen her mom. And she was wailing and I will never forget the sounds that came out of that woman. Just a complete tear your gut out. It was just something I will never, ever, ever forget. And meanwhile, the driver who got out and cussed, I never finished the whole legal end of it.
Yeah. What happened to that guy?
So he gets out, he's cussing, right? Trooper comes back and he comes back to the scene, or the trooper makes it to the scene, like what's going on. Ambulance comes because they've already called 911. So everything starts in motion, right? Everything's just chaotic. The wife of this man is in the back seat with the newborn baby. Now, this is where it gets really weird. Okay. My son's stepmother, the one who was getting the pizza, he obviously called her and she came. It was like only a block away. She came down. This woman who was in the back seat with the driver says, I know you. She's pointing at the stepmother. I know you. Well, the stepmother's an OBGYN nurse.
Okay.
Or she's labor and delivery nurse at the hospital. This lady she just delivered this lady's baby. So the stepmother thinks, oh my God, this is the guy they had to kick out of the hospital because he was on drugs and he was erratic while she was in labor. And this is the baby that was born addicted to drugs. And we had to contact DHS when the baby was born. So yeah, stepmom's like, holy shit. She goes up to the trooper. She says, oh my God, I know them. This is what just happened. They just had this baby. They're both on drugs. She was on methadone during her pregnancy. She gives them the lowdown on this guy. And I'm not about judging about looks,
which is actually illegal, but
yes, and that's what they said. We can't take that into consideration. She says, how can you not at this point?
Right, because it becomes a question of legal versus moral.
HIPAA. Yeah, exactly. Legal versus moral. And the trooper chose legal. He chose legal.
He has to.
Now, I am not one to judge someone by their looks or their tattoos, because my son, if you guys know Ryan, he's got neck tattoos on his neck. He's tatted up. But this man, and my son even said it when he got out of the car and he started cussing at them. He said, Mom, he looked horrible. He had teardrop tattoos and he was just yelling at us. He was angry. He wasn't even concerned about Caitlin. All we were doing was screaming, we need help, help us, help us. And he did nothing. Well, this trooper pulls up right after that. And then everything starts in motion. The stepmom notices, oh my God, that's that couple. Holy shit. This guy's on something.
Yeah.
Well, he gets to drive home. You ready for this? With his windshield smashed in and a headlight broken out. Now, if I drive down the road and I have a headlight out, I think I might get pulled over.
Right.
I might get a ticket for that. If my windshield is bashed in because a girl's head just hit it and I drive down the road, I might get pulled over.
So
but he drove home.
Didn't you say there was a straight? Oh yeah. So the state trooper just didn't. I don't understand that. Like
nobody
the state
does.
Trooper didn't detain him to say, "Hey, we're gonna see what happens with this girl. We're gonna give you a sobriety test." He didn't do any of that.
No. And there is the man. This is the man now. This is what he looks like now. Okay.
Oh, he's got meth written all over him. He looks like Mary Marlowe.
Oh my God. You did not just say that.
But
totally can you imagine this man getting out and screaming at you at that point in time? And can you imagine being a trooper? I'm sorry. Yes, you have to follow the law. But if you're a trooper, come on. I can tell you right now, you're looking at this guy and you're thinking he's a piece of shit. Maybe I should check his record before I let him drive home with no tickets. No tickets because they didn't know how fast he was going. Do you want to know why? There was no tire track marks because he didn't try to stop. He hit her and just kept going.
This was just a trooper who was like, I got to do something more than write a ticket here.
I don't get it.
That.
I don't get it. So here we are, the night of.
I mean, you're a true. You have a true crime channel. We hear about this shit all the time. Just lazy police work happens all the time.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible. So meanwhile, this guy drives home, right? I get down there the next day. We go out to the scene to see where all this happened. We have to drive by his house because he lives right around the corner. And you know who was at the house when I drove by it the next day? The freaking auto blast replay. I know my cat wanted to tell you. Thank you, Mimic. Did you like that? She's picking up what I'm laying down. They had the auto glass place there, replacing his windshield. Evidence.
Right.
Evidence. Gone. Now, in the meantime, here we have Ryan and we have Zach, who just went through this the night before. And now we have the homicide. Once she was pronounced dead, we have the homicide investigator who now comes in.
Right.
Daryl Carroll. I'll never forget his name. But Daryl Carroll could only do so much. Because
sounds like a fucking cartoon.
I felt like it was a cartoon. Seriously, this was such a joke. So Daryl Carroll comes in. He says, I got to interview each boy separately and get their account of what happened. Then we got to go to the scene. We're going to kind of, talk it through what happened. This was insane. I just being in the midst of that and it being my kid, it was just the most insane experience. So we go out to the scene. He interviews the boys at the house. Then we go out to the scene and they're, trying to remember exactly where it happened, like as best as they can, because they can't tell where the impact was. They only know where she landed, but they don't know where she was hit. So we're out there trying to figure this out. There was a little bit of spray paint in the road, but we're not sure why. We're not sure what this trooper did because he didn't collect evidence properly because she wasn't dead. She was alive when she left the scene. So he did not do like a homicide scene.
Do we know if this guy is currently incarcerated right now?
He is.
Because that's clearly a mugshot that I'm looking at.
Yes, and that's very recent because he was just caught. He's a felon, so he has felony firearms. For his ex-wife turned him in and said he's got guns all over the house, and Yeah. So he's going to go back to prison.
What a shocker that this guy doesn't have taste in loyal women. Jeez.
Yeah. So, okay. So at any rate, Mr. Smith here, his name's Brian Smith. He lives in Sebring, Florida, and he is a known druggie. He's still speeding through that neighborhood. And he's the devil. If you look at his eyes, that's the devil. Like, if I could ever look in the devil's eyes, I think I have.
Yeah, this is definitely not someone who especially based on the way you described the incident itself and how he reacted to it. This is another case of somebody who lacks the inclination to take any accountability for their own behavior.
No, because from what I found out, he's been in prison since the 90s on and off in Miami area. That's where he grew up, Fort Lauderdale area. And
now,
he was in prison and he escaped.
Right.
In the past. Yeah. I mean, this guy's just a chump.
Yeah,
he's a loser.
Yeah,
he
a piece of shit.
adds nothing to society. Nothing. And I hate to say it, but even as children, we don't need his seed out there. Look at this man. He's not just the drugs. He ain't right.
Right. Yeah. No.
So I mean, he goes. I want to just get the gist of the end of the story out, like the end of the night. So he goes home, windshield replaced. He's not issued any tickets until the hearing. He gets a speeding ticket. That's right. He's issued a speeding ticket because Daryl Carroll was able to figure out that he was going about 45 miles an hour in a 25. So Mr. Smith got a speeding ticket. That was it.
Wow.
He got a speeding ticket. And do you know what this piece of shit did? He fought it.
He fought the ticket?
He didn't just pay it and move on his way.
Who fights the ticket?
He fought it.
What the fuck, man?
So her mother and a bunch of her friends, the other kid that was at the scene, because after that, my son moved back to Michigan, so he wasn't there. But the judge wanted, they were subpoenaed to come to court, but the judge allowed him to write a letter that was read in court. They did all they could. I mean, this was the only charges that they had. Her mother went through so many options of, she was talking to lawyers and she was talking to Florida Highway Patrol, and she was she was doing everything she could to try to get justice for her little girl, and to no avail. So he fights this ticket. These kids go to the court, to get across to the judge. This guy is a scum. This guy's a scum.
Clearly.
So the judge did all he could, the maximum of, I think he added on something about, having to write some kind of story. He did everything he could that he could add on to this guy.
Right.
And then that was pretty much it. He got away with it, with a speeding ticket, and there were no further charges. And he continues to drive through the neighborhood. This happened in 2014. I've had people message me on Facebook just because they know me from the Caitlin Memorial page. And they're like, I know that piece of shit. He still speeds through here.
Yeah, he probably makes jokes about it to his buddies when he's drinking. And
piece of shit. Yeah.
That's
so it infuriates me, this, and I see how it has hindered her mom and hindered my son from having any kind of closure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing is they'll get their closure one way or the other, because here's the thing, this guy is going to end up in prison or dead at some point. People like that don't last very long, functioning in society. They just don't. Society has a way of removing its own cancer. It just does. I still believe very strongly in due process. I still believe very strongly in our judicial system, or else we wouldn't be here promoting this petition the way that we are. And
I want to, and this brings me back to the Mandy case. So there was a method to my madness. Number one, I like sharing that story sometimes because I feel like maybe it can make a difference, like for someone to kind of look at it from another perspective, someone who hasn't gone through something like this, or even, the people that are defending him, this Simmons guy, maybe they can take my story, because I can express it emotionally. I can't express Mandy's family's feelings emotionally because I don't know them, but I can share my experience.
Yeah, you can relate.
And
I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that Mandy's case hits home with you and touches you personally. Absolutely.
It triggers me. Will, say it.
No, I don't use that word.
It does, though. It does, and I shake inside when I talk about it. But I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it because I feel like my son. This can't happen to him in vain. He's going to help people. He already does help people. And I asked him to join tonight. He was going to. I think he got caught up in Netflix with his girlfriend, which is a better place for him to be right now anyways. But, it took him a long time to have a girlfriend again, too.
Right.
It's like, there's so much that goes along with it. And this piece of shit.
Be his call,
Yes.
to come on here. Yeah.
Yeah. But this piece of shit doesn't realize all the lives he affected. Like, he doesn't even know.
He doesn't care. I mean, that's what it is. That's what I'm getting out of that. And I that's why, and this petition is so important. And I was saying, I want to elaborate because somebody made the comment that we need Singapore justice. I want to elaborate why I believe in our justice system. Still, and I still have faith in it. It's not perfect. By no means is it perfect. But the reason why I love our justice system is it is still run by the people. It is still run by the people. These are civil servants that, make no mistake, they work for us, not the other way around. But it's up to us to remind them of that. So therefore, that's why we have to come together as a community. And we have to show them the power of community and let them know that we are not okay with this type of leniency for a crime like this. Right. This family deserves justice. Your family deserves justice. And I want her
family to realize, the way that these guys get away with this. Like, you look at Brian Smith, the guy that hit Caitlin. Like, he's a huge piece of shit. You wouldn't think that, and I'm not trying to say, certain, cops and firemen and shit should get away, the good old boys should get away with anything. But I'm saying, like, there wasn't even justice for this girl with this lifelong felon. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's not justice there, where is there going to be justice? And that's what my son struggles with.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is somebody who's in a position to do a job is only going to do a job that they're so inclined to do. They're only going to do it as well as someone who's so inclined to do it well. So if unfortunately we don't get to, they say we get to pick people. That's why. But I'm not a resident of Oklahoma or that town, so I didn't have anything to do with voting that DA in. But, we need to come together as a community to, light a fire under these people's asses. If they don't want to do a job and they're making excuses as to why they can't do their job, we need to remind them and stay on their asses and make it more of a pain in the ass to deal with us than it is to actually do the job we're being a pain in the ass for them to do. So, they need to wake up, get their shit together, get to work. Get to work. If I'm sitting here in buttfuck Tennessee worrying about this case more than they are, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
I agree. 100%. Real quick, I have a video that is on her Facebook page. If you guys, let's share isn't there a Facebook page for Mandy as well? Is there a Justice for Mandy page or no?
I'm only familiar with the petition. But I'm sure there is.
Okay, if there's not, then Angie, that might be something to start and then share, the information from. That I've seen that work in a lot of cases. But it's called In Loving Memory of Caitlin, and it's a website that it's a Facebook page I started for her mom because she didn't know how to do it. And her mom still adds things to it every now and then. It's not as active as it used to be, but there's a video, and it was done at a coffee shop. They had the coffee shop she worked at was like this little mom and pop coffee shop called Brewster's. It was like the cutest little place, and she worked there. And my son used to hang out in there all the time when she was working. So the owner, Bruce, all the kids used to hang out there. It was a really cool place because there wasn't much for kids to do in Sebring, Florida. And they had this little coffee shop where the owner was cool with all these teens, and they all loved him. And it was just a cool place for them to hang out. So he held this memorial for the kids. And my son was really courageous. And he read a letter that her best friend wrote because her best friend couldn't get up there and do it. And if you don't mind, I wanted to share that video. Let me share my screen. Oh shoot. I'm sorry. I didn't know you dropped off.
No, that's my fault. Yeah, because like an idiot, I'm using browser for StreamYard, and then I went and looked for a Justice for Mandy page if there was one, but I didn't see one, and then it took me off of the site like an idiot.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking technical genius.
Yeah, me too. You're not the only one. All right, so here is. I'm gonna play this video real quick. It's only 2 minutes long, so I just think I watch it and I'm in awe of his just courage,
And real quick, hey, guys, anybody who's just tuning in, please look at the chat. Everybody is dropping links. All the mods are dropping links for Mandy's petition. So if you're just joining us, please click on that link and sign that petition. It only takes a second. So please do that.
Before I do anything, I just want to say that what I'm about to do is just for everybody to just relax and just enjoy themselves tonight. Tonight's about peace and positivity, everything that Caitlin's about. So yeah. But first, I wanted to read something for my best friend Haley. She's going through a lot right now. I mean, I guess we all are. But I'm going to read something for her that she wrote. It's going to start right here. She says, Caitlin was the nicest, sweetest, and most happy person I knew in my life. She helped me when I was sad and helped me to learn to love myself. She taught me that even the most beautiful people can be self-conscious, and the most talented people can still not be pleased by their work. She used to tell me everything, and she was the only one I could 100% trust with anything. I was emptied by her, knowing, and my heart is still, I don't know what that is. She was really good at arguing about what she believed in. I remember one time at lunch when she got called out for dress code and she spoke a bunch about how old men shouldn't over-sexualize the bodies of 16-year-old girls and that it is wrong to objectify so many parts of women. I love every part of her and she'll stay with me until I die. Caitlin was like a cool older sister who influenced my music taste and how to do my makeup. I always told Ryan that she was my girlfriend and I tried to get her quicker than him so I could hug her and hold her hand, or sometimes I'd just get really close to her face until one of us started laughing because we were never uncomfortable around each other. I always felt like I would disregard all my other friends just for her because as soon as I'd see her, I could run in her direction with open arms. I feel like the worst person for not getting there in time to say goodbye. Caitlin's poor mother is so strong. Ryan, especially for having been through all of this and still holding on and trying to help me. I can still smell her lingering scent of coffee and perfume. Her laugh is still in my ears. I love you, Caitlin, and though she's gone and we all feel lost, she's still in my heart and she's looking down at us. Her soul is going to live on. Amen. Amen.
Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay.
Well, I hear that letter that her friend wrote, and it breaks my heart. But it shows you the impact that this girl had for being 16 years old. The impact she had on one girl, one
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. I mean, you when you have a brightness about you, it attracts people.
Mm-hmm. And I see that brightness in Mandy when I see that
right.
picture of her smiling. I see that same
Absolutely. Like
brightness.
she's beaming with it. And I mean, look at us now. Look at how many people she's brought together from beyond the grave, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And uh, there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now than trying to get justice for her.
Me
To be
too.
perfectly honest. It's Saturday night, and there's nowhere I'd rather be than sitting here right here talking with everybody about her.
I agree. Thanks for letting me share my personal story. It helps me. It helps me to share that sometimes.
I'm really glad that you did, and that it must be very difficult as well. So thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, I just want her family to know, like, they're not alone. They're not alone.
Right.
And I hope that, unlike Caitlin's story, I hope that this ends different. I hope that they get more charges. I mean, manslaughter at the very least.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
I mean, again, I want fair justice is what I want. I want fair justice, and even if that, I want him to answer for what he's done. If a judge decides whatever the judge decides, fine. I want him to at least at this point now. Now my mind may change later depending on his actions.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what I want personally out of this is for him to simply man up and take accountability for his actions, and answer for them.
He won't. People like him don't change.
I refuse. I to. And I respect that.
know.
There's a part of me that agrees with you, but and honestly,
That's too cynical of thinking, isn't it?
And honestly, it's the wiser part of me that agrees with you. But I just refuse to let that cynicism take me over. And I I've never done these anything close to these horrible things, but I changed, and I changed because I wanted to be better. And I know many people who have, so I know people can change. And I've seen,
you know what? You're right. You're right.
I've seen things. I've seen people, and it's a beautiful thing when that happens. So I'd prefer to hope for him to have an epiphany and then decide, hey, I can't live with what I did here, and the sooner that I answer for my actions and take responsibility and answer for my actions, then the sooner that I'll be able to move on towards my own happiness. But I realize that's not likely. But I can, what good am I if I don't hope for it? You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. And I agree with you. And I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, because I'm trying not to be so cynical. It's really, really hard.
It is.
Especially with everything that's gone on lately, like the whole Oni thing. And yeah, it's really hard to trust people. But I'm trying not to react like I just did, like with a negative, because I notice that in people now, like if you say something and then they fire back with a negative, I'm trying not to do that because I know I've done that.
I'm notorious for it.
Yes.
I am. But the thing is yeah, and I have to make a conscious effort. It's like when you were describing Boo's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
and how she, you know, or her mother, I should say, and how she never blamed Boo for what happened.
Yeah.
She had a natural ability for that kind of acceptance and empathy, whereas I had to make a decision to start making a conscious effort to be more like that.
Yeah, you're right. Because
You know
at
what I
that
mean?
time, she didn't even have time to think about that. That was just who
Right.
she is. And I
Right.
think that's why I love her so much.
Right.
I love who she is. And I just always noticed how her and her mother, Caitlin's grandma, treated him. They treated him with love. Like her mom approached him with like, tell me about Caitlin. Like, tell me about your conversations. Tell me, what you guys did that day. Tell me this, tell me that. And it was just like they came together in love for her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Real quick, let me address this comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rich girl, you're saying it's not too cynical. Psychopathic sociopath brains affected from birth, genetic and environmental, no conscience. Okay. See, to me, I'm real big on if you're not trying to come up with a solution, then you're making excuses. Anything aside from a step towards fixing a problem is an excuse, in my opinion. Now, we all do it. We all make excuses. We do. But what I'm looking at when I hear shit like that, when I hear, oh, well, that person doesn't have a conscience, it's dismissive. It's completely dismissive, and it's an excuse for them to
It's
be
kind of
shitty.
letting them get away with
Totally
doing what they're doing
and
by excusing it.
and I don't want to. Right, and
Yeah.
I'm not thinking on that level, and I can't. And being a part of a true crime community, we can't afford to think that way. We can't afford to think that way. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that's just another excuse. Because I'm definitely not a sociopath. I'm definitely not a psychopath. But again, I have a cynical way of thinking, and I have to make a conscious effort to not be cynical. But the effort is there. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm capable of making that effort, anybody is. So fuck off with that. Oh, well, I was born this way and I have a brain defect. Get out of my face with that shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I agree. Less excuses and more accountability.
Right. And I'm not saying, Rich Girl, I'm not saying that you're making an excuse for anyone. I think that inadvertently, it can be construed that way.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of people
that's what I'm doing. I'm addressing why that can be dangerous. So I don't think that you realize it, but yes, it can be construed that way, and it being construed that way can be very dangerous, and that's why I'm saying that. But I'm saying that I don't want to create that narrative so that the person who should be held accountable gets to use that as an excuse. That's my point.
Sure. Nothing against the person that made the comment, right?
Right.
No, and it's true. We all kind of knee jerk to that. We do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, don't even. We're not giving it life.
Oh man,
it's relentless.
It's so funny.
It's got the bottle open.
Guys, I want everybody else in the chat, to be as relentless with the petition. Please take that relentlessness that is frustrating you in the chat right now and use it as an example to inspire you to be just as relentless to sign that petition and get justice for Mandy. Please do that.
Share.
Get relentless. I want you to get
relentless like pull up pugs.
Yeah.
Pull up pugs and put that shit all over the internet.
I was trying to avoid saying your name, but okay.
Well, I had to.
So yeah, pugs the shit out of that fucking petition, please.
Pugs, sign that petition, then you can come back and talk.
Exactly.
You got 5 minutes, girl.
Yeah, we'll even let you give us the whole spiel of how you had something to do with the author, being the author of the petition, and all whatever crazy stories you got to go along with it. Just fucking sign it. I don't give a shit.
All right. Well, I think we've got the word out about the petition. Do you think they understand about the petition?
I sure hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it was a pleasure, Will. I'm honored that you let me cover this on my channel, because this is something that we're going to continue to bring light to. We're going to follow it. December the 17th is a court hearing. I'm going to do my sleuthing and kind of get some see if I can get some court documents or something.
Yeah,
I want to follow this dude. I'm going to follow this dude. You know?
Yeah.
And the more that we do this, Will, maybe we'll get more local people who don't know about this or something, or are outraged, and maybe we can get some people together to do something there, like locally. You know, I mean, you never know where this can go.
Absolutely. Everybody, I've been very open about this on my channel. And I've been very open about this with Jay, but I feel very, very strongly about the YouTube true crime community coming together and making a productive difference. And if we can start working towards focusing on just making a productive difference and focusing on the things that truly matter, we can build a reputation to the mainstream world.
And dude, this is going to grow this community. Like, it will grow the true crime community, and it will weed out all that trash.
Yeah. So
like the trash that lies to you and wants your money, it'll weed those people out.
Totally. If you've got a true crime channel and you are passionate about covering true crime, then that tells me that you're passionate about actually making a difference in our society. So fucking back it up and start covering strong cases like this. Take this case and cover it. Spread it. If you've got a true crime group, a Facebook group, take this story.
Sleuth investigate.
Take this and post something about it in your group. Make everybody aware. Let's use social media for let's use the power of social media for what it's for. And I promise I am going to I'm going to do everything I can. Again, my channel is not a true crime channel, but I am active in this community. And I feel very strongly about it coming together. So
I have a creator in here that I want to share her link real quick, because she does cold cases and she does an amazing job at her videos.
That's amazing.
So I'm going to throw Sleuth Investigate. I'm going to put her link in right now. If you guys could all take a second and head over to that channel and subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications. She uploads videos so you can watch them at your leisure. You don't have to catch the live or anything like that. She does a wonderful job of putting the facts together in order, and it makes sense. And her voice is amazing. It's not it's not nails on a chalkboard like some people on the internet, but she's really good at what she does. So please,
I just
click her link. Thank you. And follow Will. Click on his name. Put your name up in chat, and they can head over to your channel if they aren't already.
Your mods are doing a great job of dropping the link to my channel.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I should have known.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I should have known. If any other creators are in here and you want to share your link, feel free to do that. The more, the merrier.
I love that. Yeah, let's stop. This isn't a competition, man.
No, it's not. It's not. And if we can work together, man, we can make a difference.
This isn't a competition. This is a community, and we're all trying to reach the same goal. If you're not trying to reach that goal and all you're doing is looking for subscribers and all you're doing is making up bullshit on your channel and calling it a true crime channel, you don't have any place in this community, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in working with you. I'm not interested in collaborating with you. I'm not interested in listening to you, unless you're Mary Marlowe, just so I can laugh at you. But if you're really trying to make a difference and you're really trying to make people in your community aware of the things that are going on and making a genuine effort to try to understand it, and trying to bring justice to families that need closure because horrible things happened to somebody that they're very close to, then absolutely, there's no reason why we should be trying to cut each other's heads off here. We should be totally collaborating and totally trying to communicate with each other and lifting each other up. And I don't see the sense.
There's strength in numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's strength in numbers. And you don't see.
And if you're trying to get more subscribers, what better way than to make yourself known in other people's channels, to spread yourself out? So it's counterproductive to sit here and try to hurt another creator and try to throw another creator under the bus with bullshit. This is not a competition. This is a huge platform, and there's plenty of room for everybody.
Absolutely.
But we can pull together. We could join forces. We could pool our resources together, and we can help each other out.
Amen, Willard.
Smarten up.
Amen, Willard. Willie.
I'm already cool with it, man.
You really don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was so funny, dude. Like I woke up.
Uh-oh. Will got cut off. Yeah, we didn't really give him a choice. He kind of has that nickname. His buddy outed him.
Okay, think I'm back. Okay.
So everybody throw up Will's PayPal. He's having difficulty. He needs new equipment.
Yeah, I don't have a PayPal, but I should probably start.
You probably should if you don't want to have cutoffs.
It's
Will is really Oni using a voice changer. Did you guys know that?
God damn it, Jay! I told you not to do that.
Okay, wait. This will be the true test if it's Oni or not, and everybody in chat will get this. You won't get it, but who was OJ's lawyer? The black guy. What was his
Cochran?
What was his full name?
Johnny Cochran.
See, it's not Oni, guys. Because if it was Oni, what would he have said? Johnny Cochran?
He called him
dude.
Cochran. I get it.
Dude,
okay.
No, you got to hear this story real quick before we end. Oni and I were doing a look at Sleuth. Okay, so we were doing this podcast that we were doing once a week, and we did the OJ case. And it's when you're talking about this, it's serious. Like, I take it serious. He would wait until like 5 minutes before and be like, "Send me the Wikipedia." Whatever. So he's literally, screwing around. He's not reading the right section. He's all over the place. And when he got to Johnny Cochran, he said, "Johnny Cochran?" And I was like, "You did not just say that. Like, you did not just say that. What? Isn't that his name?" This is all the attention, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Cochran? Isn't that his name?
Wow.
Right. So it's like, come on. Don't do one again.
The joke is funny for the first time. Like, it wasn't even that funny. I got it. And then I was like, oh, okay.
But he wasn't doing it as a joke. He was trying to like play dumb. Like, he really thought his name was Johnny Cochran. That's how it came across. It was.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Look, man. Look.
So when you said Cochran,
as far as I'm concerned, based on everything that I just ranted about in the last 5 minutes, like, people like Oni are a fucking skid mark in the underwear of the true crime community. Like, there's no place for shit like that, man. So don't. Look, there's no reason for that kind of behavior, dude. There's no reason for that shit. Like, why in the fuck? How do you call yourself a true crime channel and then commit crimes on people?
Mm-hmm.
Like petty little dumb shit. Like, what is that? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, if you're doing shit like that to people, man, you need help. You need help.
Well, and that was one point I did want to make earlier, and I forgot. It slipped my mind. But one thing, and this is in all seriousness, one thing that I realized last night when he called in, and I don't want to take too much time in this because I want people to replay this, but when he called in last night, the things he was saying made me realize that he is way sicker than I really thought. And it kind of scares me a little bit. I really think that last night really showed how ill he really is. And I'm not saying I have sympathy for him, but I'm really kind of shocked because I didn't think he would take it that far. I thought that, he would come clean about everything by now and apologize and eat some crow. And, the level that he's going to with his lies is astounding to me. It scares me that I was friends with him for 8 years and he's capable of that. It scares me.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, sorry, guys. Everybody's commenting on me blowing out the smoke from my cigarette because
Oh my God, is Will blowing up balloons?
it's because I got this headset mic, and so yeah, I gotta move the mic away from my face when I do that, and I realize that even the sound can be annoying. I guess it's just almost as annoying as
loud.
someone smelling smoke in their face. So
We almost
sorry
can
about that,
smell
guys.
it. We can almost
Right?
smell it.
Yeah. I'm creating a. But
yes, I would love to do a live with Prepper. Prepper, are you down? Email me. I love Prepper. He's got a channel too.
Oh, I'm not making excuses, man. It's gross that I smoke. I hate that I smoke. One of these days, I'm gonna quit, and it's not gonna be a New Year's resolution thing because there's that psychological element there where New Year's resolutions never pan out, and I don't want that element when I actually attempt it and do it. So I'll do it on my own.
Rich girl says she wants accountability. One thing at a time.
I'll give you all the accountability I can give you, rich girl. I promise.
She's teasing. All right.
I know.
Good job, Prepper. He quit 4+ years ago. Good for you.
Wow, in the can? That's amazing.
And never quit quitting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to head off here, and thanks again, Will, for
thank you
covering this with me, and hopefully we'll get lots of signatures tonight. So I'm going to throw the link to the petition in the description when we get off here, and you can find it there.
I'm addicted to this feeling. I'm addicted to feeling like we can come together and make a difference. Like I'm really, really into it. So thank you for doing this with me.
Absolutely. All right.
And on your channel.
Yeah. Well, hey, have a good rest of your Saturday night.
All right. You too.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.